The purpose of this hearing is to conduct oversight over the U.S. Agency for Global Media and two of its broadcasters, Voice of America and Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty. I want to thank the Chairman Mass, for calling this hearing, and of course the full committee chairman for being here. USA-GM's network chain of audience numbers over 420 million weekly viewers. With this large audience, a proud legacy, a mission to share America's story and report news to close society, USA-GM and its broadcasters shouldn't be controversial as part of government in any way, shape, or form. It should be a consensus cause that brings the country together and shares our voice with the world. To put it simply, under current management and leadership, we believe that may not be happening. USA-GM's leadership has allowed the agency, particularly VOA, to drift into becoming another mainstream media news organization, indistinguishable from NPR and others. That is clearly not the mission we pay for. Let me be clear, merely modeling journalists' best practices is an insufficient justification for an agency that consumes $800 billion plus taxpayer dollars per year. Worse, as a recent report from Chairman McCall makes clear, USA-GM senior leadership has focused not on its critical challenges, but on protecting its favored staff. USA-GM is the only organization where you can blatantly lie on your resume and get a pass as a Voice of America's Persian News Network did. We would like to know why, and that is part of the reason for the hearing today. Another issue I have personally engaged with Voice of America, it's in its Middle East coverage of the October 7th murders in Gaza. Specifically, its refusal to call Hamas terrorists what they are, Hamas terrorists. Here are the facts after October 7th's VOA reporters were instructed to do, and I'm quoting, avoid calling Hamas and its members terrorists, except in quotes. When my office and others brought this to light, VOA claimed it clarified its response, but it clearly didn't. We have the opportunity to faithfully and truthfully report brutal attacks by terrorists, and we squandered that opportunity to reach millions of people who may have been receptive to that message. Now, this happens before, now, Mr. Aberwitz, this happened before you took offer at VOA. And so I understand that your job is one of taking on responsibility for things you didn't cause, but you now have the job to change it. Which brings me to a larger point. VOA needs to re-engage with its charter, which says, and this one is in quotes, will respect America, not any signal segment of American society, unquote. And, quote, will present the policies of the United States clearly and effectively and will also present responsible discussions and opinions on those policies. It is the policy of successive administrations and is the unanimous position across all acceptable corners of U.S. political spectrum that Hamas is a terrorist organization, and they've been recognized so before their terrorist attack on October 7th. And its members are terrorists. VOA did not take that stance and violated its charter. It also has been reliably informed that a senior VOA editor took reporters to use attribution because opinion in Moscow, Tehran, and Beijing didn't see it that way. I don't spend $800 million of the taxpayers' money to represent Tehran, Moscow, or Beijing. In fact, these are all adversary states. Your job is to have the people of Russia, Tehran, Beijing, and other countries that repress free speech know what the truth is, not the other way around. You are the voice of America, not the voice of Russia, the voice of Iran, or the voice of China. When confronted with these failures, I have discussed with senior leadership at USA, GM, and VOA, you've doubled down and mocked congressional oversight. It's a classic leadership failure, one that can bring down entire agencies. Ms. Bennett, your written statement focuses a lot on successes. Undoubtedly, there have been many successes. I was a soldier in the Cold War, and the radio that went across the Czech border kept us out of a war in no small part and kept the hope alive in the Eastern Bloc. But we cannot address USA GM's failures without working to address its current shortcomings. At a time when American people are demanding to know what value they get from each agency, we must work together to make needed reforms and to root out waste, fraud, and clearly be accountable for the words you use pursuant to your mandate from Congress.